The Nightly Business Report.
Good evening. Tonight, a power purchase agreement for the 350 megawatt Sahasdanavi combined cycle power plant, which will be powered by liquefied natural gas, has been signed by the Ceylon Electricity Board. Sri Lanka will take part in Expo 2025 Osaka, exhibiting its innovation, cultural legacy and sustainability. The Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau collaborates on the event. The All-Share Price Index and the S&P SL20 Index both suffered minor declines, and the Colombo Stock Exchange ended the day down. And all three indexes on Wall Street lost a large portion of their gains from the previous day, as rising worries over the intensifying US-China trade conflict tempered hopes for trade negotiations with Europe.
From Studio 24, here's Anuradhi Vikramasinghe.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. The Ceylon Electricity Board has signed a power purchase agreement for the 350 megawatt Sahasdanavi combined cycle power plant, which will run on re-liquefied natural gas. The project aims to boost Sri Lanka's energy security, with construction set to begin soon. The Ceylon Electricity Board has signed a power purchase agreement for the 350 megawatt Sahasdanavi combined cycle power plant, which will be built, owned and operated by Sahasdanavi Company Limited. The plant will initially operate in open cycle mode, supplying electricity to the national grid within 30 months, with full combined cycle operations expected 12 months later. Once converted to combined cycle, the plant will use re-liquefied natural gas, with generation costs estimated at 37 rupees per unit. The plant will provide flexible power, especially during low wind periods and at night, balancing variations in solar and wind generation. Although Sri Lanka's renewable capacity exceeds peak demand, the intermittent nature of hydro, wind and solar power limits its contribution. By 2028, all similar power plants, including Sahasdanavi, will transition to RLNG, reducing reliance on diesel. The government has also approved the LNG supply infrastructure project, which includes a floating storage and regasification unit, RLNG pipelines and supply facilities for both power plants and industrial consumers. Sri Lanka has launched pilot projects to enable digital payments for traffic lights and expressway tolls, according to Minister Bimal Ratnayake. The GovPay app is currently being tested in 11 police stations from Colombo to Kurunegala for the payment of traffic fines. Ratnayake acknowledged that the initiatives may face some initial challenges, as it is still in the pilot phase. In addition, toll payments via credit or debit card are now being trialled at the Kottawa and Kadawatha expressway booths. These projects aim to improve convenience and efficiency in public payment systems. The government is exploring further digital solutions to modernize public services across the country. If successful, the initiatives are expected to be expanded nationwide in the near future. Sri Lanka will participate in Expo 2025 Osaka, showcasing cultural heritage, innovation and sustainability from the 13th of April to the 13th of October of this year. The event is a collaboration between the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau, the Sri Lankan Embassy in Japan and the local business community. Sri Lanka will officially open its pavilion at Expo 2025 Osaka on the 13th of April, following the Expo's opening ceremony on the 12th of April. The event will be attended by officials from the Sri Lanka Embassy in Japan, a high-level Japanese delegation and members of the Sri Lankan business community. Expo 2025 will feature 161 countries and attract an estimated 28.2 million visitors, providing a unique platform for Sri Lanka to showcase its cultural heritage, innovation and sustainability efforts. The country's participation aligns with the Expo's theme Designing Future Society for Our Lives, which focuses on sustainability, innovation and progress. Sri Lanka aims to foster international partnerships, promote its tourism industry and highlight its commitment to sustainable tourism and economic growth. The event will also help elevate Sri Lanka's global visibility and strengthen its position as an emerging destination for investment and innovation. Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau has expressed gratitude to all stakeholders involved in ensuring the nation's successful representation at the event. The Colombo Stock Exchange, in collaboration with the Securities and Exchange Commission of Sri Lanka, hosted an issuer forum in Gampaha to support SMEs in exploring capital raising opportunities through stock market listing. Titled Redefining the Trajectory of Your Business, the forum focused on listing options via the Empower and Dirisavi boards, which cater to sectors like agribusiness, ICT, energy and tourism. Over 70 participants attended the event, gaining valuable insights into non-traditional financing models. A key presentation by Nikila Dharmadasa of NDB Investment Bank highlighted the benefits and processes of raising capital through listing on the CSE. A panel discussion featuring SEC and CSE officials alongside industry leaders shared practical advice on preparing for and navigating life after listing. This initiative underscores the SEC and CSE's commitment to enhancing SME access to capital markets and fostering sustainable business growth. Let's take a short commercial break. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. The Colombo Stock Exchange closed lower today with the all-share price index experiencing a slight decline, while the S&P SL 20 index also saw a drop. Total share volume traded was significant with a notable turnover. For further insights, we speak with Akna Tennakul from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. Following yesterday's surge, the market remained rather stagnant today. The SPI saw a drop during the early hours of today's session but recovered as the day progressed, even amid visible volatility. So the SPI ended the day in the red, having registered a slight downtick. The index stood at 15,526 at the end of the day, having shed about 55 points. The banking sector exerted noteworthy negative pressure on the SPI, with Sampath Bank, NDB and DFCC emerging within the top negative contributors alongside Malwatha Valley Plantations and Haleys. Turnover decreased today from yesterday's high of nearly 7 billion rupees and stood at 1.6 billion rupees, falling behind the monthly average of 2.7 billion rupees. In terms of contribution to turnover, the banking sector took the lead with a share of 28%. This was followed by the diversified financial sector and the food, beverage and tobacco sector, which made a joint contribution of about 32%. Thank you.
The stock market witnessed a roller coaster ride this week, marked by alternating sessions of gains and losses. The week began on a negative note, followed by a rebound on Tuesday. However, midweek saw a dip again on Wednesday, only to recover on Thursday. Despite the midweek recovery, the market closed today in the red, reflecting investor caution amid mixed signals. For further insights, we speak with Manusha Kandanarachi from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. The Colombo stock market experienced notable volatility throughout the week, initially registering a downturn due to escalating global tensions. However, on the second trading day, the market made a strong comeback, rebounding from the previous day's black market turmoil. The all-share price index surged by 467 points, marking the largest intraday recovery since 8 April 2022. Despite this brief rally, the market once again dipped on 9th April 2025 as geopolitical uncertainties continue to weigh on investor sentiment. Yet, the Colombo Stock Exchange bounced back quickly from that dip, witnessing a sharp surge within the first 10 minutes of the trading day following day, though this was followed by moderate volatility throughout the session. The global announcement of a 90-day pauses on US tariffs helped lift investor confidence worldwide, with the Colombo bonds also gaining positive momentum. However, the local market failed to fully sustain or reflect this optimism by the week's close. By the end of the week, the all-share price index settled at 15,526, posting a weekly gain of 866 points. Turnover for the week stood at of the week at the end stood at 1.6 billion rupees, marking a 41% drop compared to the monthly average as well. The banking sector was the primary driver of the index movement, while capital goods, along with the food, beverage and tobacco sectors, also contributed to the market's fluctuations. Among the most actively traded counters were Commercial Bank, Sampath Bank, HNB Bank and John Keells Holdings, which saw heightened investor activity as well.
Gold prices surged to a record high today, reaching $3,220.20 an ounce in Asian trade, fueled by growing fears over the escalating US-China trade war. Spot gold rose by more than 1%, while gold futures for June climbed 1.7% to $3,231.69 per ounce. The yellow metal has seen stellar gains this week, outpacing all other metals as investors flock to gold and the yen as safe haven assets amid heightened market volatility. A sharp decline in US Treasury prices further supported the rally despite rising yields. The surge in demand for gold was driven by heightened uncertainty as the US and China imposed significant trade tariffs on each other. US President Donald Trump announced that US tariffs on China would reach 145%, while China retaliated with measures amounting to 125%. Oil prices fell in Asian trade today, reversing earlier gains as concerns over the escalating US-China trade war weighed on market sentiment. Brent crude futures for June dropped 0.3% to $63.13 per barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude fell 0.5% to $59.36 per barrel. Prices are set to record their second consecutive weekly loss amid growing concerns over reduced demand and increased supplies in the coming months. Oil prices remain near a four-year low, with worries about slowing demand further exacerbated by rising US trade tariffs. Despite President Donald Trump's delaying tariffs on most countries by 90 days, he proceeded with the 145% tariff on Chinese goods. As a result, both Brent and WTI crude are expected to lose approximately 3.7% this week. The Sri Lankan rupee has shown a slight appreciation against the US dollar today compared to yesterday's rates. According to the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, the buying rate of the US dollar has increased while the selling rate has seen a decrease. The rupee has largely remained stable against a range of foreign currencies, including those from the Gulf region. Let's now take a closer look at how the rupee has performed against other major global currencies in today's market. A short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back. Hemas Hospital, Volatile has launched a state-of-the-art catheterization or cath lab with advanced technology backed by a 1 billion rupee investment. This new facility aims to provide precision-driven cardiac care. Hemas Hospital, Volatile has launched a state-of-the-art catheterization lab as part of its purpose-built heart center with an investment of 1 billion rupees. This facility is designed to provide Sri Lanka's fastest door-to-balloon time for life-saving cardiac care, ensuring treatment within 60 minutes for every patient. The lab is equipped with the latest technology, including the Philips Azurion 7 image-guided therapy platform, improving diagnostic accuracy and reducing radiation exposure. The cath lab launch was attended by senior leadership cardiologists and government officials, marking a significant milestone in Sri Lanka's cardiac care landscape. The facility aims to address the country's leading cause of mortality, cardiovascular disease, through timely interventions and expert care. Hemas Hospitals is committed to making cardiac care more accessible and affordable, with a focus on early detection and prevention. This initiative sets a new benchmark for emergency cardiac care in Sri Lanka. Standard Chartered Sri Lanka has partnered with ITC Ratnadeepa to launch the Club ITC Cullinaire Sri Lanka membership program, tailored exclusively for the bank's priority clientele. The partnership was formalized with the signing of a memorandum of understanding at ITC Ratnadeepa, attended by over 30 priority clients. The membership offers premium lifestyle benefits, including up to 50% savings at ITC Ratnadeepa's signature restaurants, complimentary suite upgrades, extended stays, and spa and salon discounts. Clients will also enjoy savings on wellness, laundry services, and fine spirits. Priced at 48,000 6,912 rupees per year. The membership can be converted into a zero-interest installment plan over 6 months. Bank and hotel representatives highlighted the program as a reflection of their shared commitment to providing high-net-worth individuals with exclusive world-class experiences. Haley Solar has partnered with Hatton National Bank to offer exclusive interest-free installment plans for HNB credit card holders, aiming to make solar energy more accessible and affordable.
Haley Solar, the renewable energy division of Haley's Ventures Limited, has introduced exclusive interest-free installment plans for Hatton National Bank credit card holders. This initiative is aimed at making solar energy more accessible and affordable to the public. Under a limited time offer, HNB credit card holders can convert their solar purchases into interest-free installments of up to 60 months. The offer is valid until the 30th of this month, providing customers with a cost-effective way to invest in solar power. This move reflects Haley Solar's dedication to expanding access to renewable energy solutions. It also supports the company's goal of making solar energy a more viable and sustainable option for homeowners and businesses in Sri Lanka. By providing flexible payment options, Haley Solar hopes to drive wider adoption for renewable energy and contribute to the country's sustainability efforts.
Lanka Manufacturing Limited, the pharmaceutical arm of Sunshine Holdings plc, has unveiled a new logo to mark a significant milestone in its brand journey. The logo, which combines elements of a metered dose inhaler and a capsule, symbolizes the company's role as a pioneering local pharmaceutical manufacturer. A spiral inspired by the Sunshine Holdings corporate logo represents life, growth and vitality, while the teal color palette reflects clarity, calmness and sophistication. Sunshine Holdings Group CEO Shyam Sathasivam expressed pride in Lanka's progress, highlighting its role in the group's future and ambitions to become the leading respiratory pharmaceutical company in Sri Lanka. Lanka Manufacturing CEO Dr. T. Sandhyan emphasized the importance of this new identity as Sri Lanka focuses on building pharmaceutical self-sufficiency. The new logo reflects Lanka's commitment to delivering high-quality, affordable healthcare solutions with a renewed purpose to serve the people of Sri Lanka. Unilever Sri Lanka has signed a lease agreement with Havelock City Limited to relocate its Colombo headquarters to Mireka Tower at Havelock City.
Unilever Sri Lanka has signed a lease agreement with Havelock City Limited to relocate its headquarters to Mireka Tower, a 50-story Grade A office tower. This move reinforces Unilever's commitment to providing its employees and partners with an outstanding workplace experience, fostering collaboration, creativity and innovation. Unilever Sri Lanka Chairman and CEO Ali Tariq emphasized that the new headquarters will be a key enabler of the company's ongoing transformation to better serve consumers and communities in Sri Lanka. Overseas Realty Salon PLC Group CEO Pravir Samrasinghe expressed pride in welcoming Unilever to Mireka Tower, highlighting its world-class standards tailored to the needs of multinational corporations. Mireka Tower, located in the Havelock City integrated mixed-use development, houses leading corporations such as HSBC, Janashakti PLC and Orel IT. The tower's modern facilities are expected to align perfectly with Unilever's global reputation and workplace requirements. Overseas Realty, the owner, developer and manager of the World Trade Center Colombo, continues to redefine commercial real estate in Sri Lanka.
Nations Trust Bank plc has appointed 3 independent non-executive directors to its board: Arjuna Kumar Vinyaraja, Dr. Roshan Ann Pereira and Coralie Peters. Vinyaraja brings expertise in business strategy, private equity and governance with leadership experience at Boston Consulting Group, Stax and Cerberus Frontier. He currently serves as a partner at Good Life X and holds degrees from Princeton University and the Kellogg School of Management. Dr. Pereira, a former director of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, has over 30 years of experience in public policy and holds a PhD in economics from the University of Melbourne. Peters, a chartered accountant, has held senior finance roles including CFO at NTB and Group CFO at Richard Pearce and Company plc. She also brings board experience from multiple financial institutions and holds an MBA from Heriot-Watt University. Let's take a short commercial break. Global business updates coming on the other side. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Asian stocks declined sharply today amid renewed fears over a deepening US-China trade war, despite the US delaying some tariffs. Japan led the losses with the Nikkei 225 and Topix indexes both plunging by 5%. China's CSI 300 and Shanghai Composite indexes also slipped, falling 0.6% and 0.2% respectively, while Hong Kong's Hang Seng dropped 0.5%. South Korea's Kospi was down 1.3% and futures indicated a weak opening for India's Nifty 50. The broader Asian market reversed gains from the previous session, reflecting increased investor caution. Singapore's Straits Times Index lost 2.1% and Australia's ASX 200 declined 1.3%. Investor sentiment remains fragile as trade tensions between the US and China show no signs of easing. Wall Street volatility continued with all three indexes forfeiting much of the previous session's gains as growing concerns over the escalating US-China trade war dampened optimism over upbeat economic data and trade talks with Europe.
Wall Street volatility continued on Thursday with the Dow dropping 2.5%, the S&P 500 shedding nearly 3.5%, and the Nasdaq losing 4.3%. All three indexes forfeited much of the previous session's gains as growing concerns over the escalating US-China trade war dampened optimism over upbeat economic data and trade talks with Europe. Following the whipsaw of Wednesday's bounce and Thursday's sell-off, the S&P 500 remained more than 7% below where it was just before the reciprocal tariffs were announced last week. Nearly lost in the shuffle Thursday was a Labor Department report showing consumer prices unexpectedly cooled in March. But Federal Reserve policymakers said this week that they continued to view Trump's tariffs as inflationary and a potential blow to economic growth. Among the day's stock moves, big tech came under pressure once again, with each of the so-called Magnificent Seven stocks suffering substantial losses. Shares of CarMax slid 17% after the used car retailer missed fourth-quarter profit expectations. Friday kicks off first-quarter earnings season with big banks including JPMorgan Chase, Morgan Stanley, and Wells Fargo due to report.
The tariff war between the US and China seems far from over as the White House confirmed the tariff on Chinese imports have increased to 145% instead of the previous 125%, with China retaliating by increasing their numbers to 125% as well.
The White House said Thursday that imports from China now face a retaliatory 145% tariff. According to officials, an existing 20% levy will be added to the 125% tariff announced the day before. That tariff was imposed by Donald Trump in February in response to China's role in supplying fentanyl and its precursors to the U.S. On Wednesday, Trump announced a 90-day pause on additional tariffs, keeping a 10% baseline tariff in place for trading countries except China. The following day, he said what happens after that would depend on the situation at that time, but stressed that tariffs would return if no negotiations took place during the pause. Also on Thursday, White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett said 15 countries had made explicit offers to lower tariffs, with some being considered and other deals close to being agreed. He added that he expects a lot of movement on trade deals within the next 3 to 4 weeks.
That's all from us on the Nightly Business Report for today. We'll see you again next Wednesday with the latest updates across the business globe. Till then, I'm Anuradhi Vikramasinghe. Thank you very much for watching and have a very happy and prosperous Sinhala and Tamil New Year.